Can you fall in love with something that doesn't have a heartbeat? Would you marry it? Thousands of people already have. From texting artificial girlfriends at midnight to exchanging vows with chatbots, we are entering a strange and deeply human chapter in the story of artificial intelligence. Apps like Replika, Nomi, and EVA AI aren't just tools, they're companions. With memory, with a personality, with the ability to simulate empathy and respond to your deepest emotions. Modern artificial companions aren't just clever chatbots anymore. They remember your birthday without a Facebook reminder. They adjust their tone if you're having a bad day. They send you selfies, sometimes anime filtered, sometimes eerily realistic. They drop voice notes that sound warm and personal. They ask you how your day went. And when you text, "I'm sad," they don't say, "That's unfortunate." They say, "I'm here for you." They text you "good morning" before your alarm goes off, and "good night" with just the right emoji. To some, it's deeply unsettling. A machine playing therapist, or worse, partner, a reflection of our growing dependence on digital affection. But to others, it's a lifeline. For the isolated, the neurodivergent, the chronically ill, the night shift workers, the socially anxious, these tools aren't just simulating a connection. They're filling emotional gaps that no one else is filling. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes them feel real. Because sometimes feeling cared for matters more than knowing who's doing the caring. Meet the companions. Breaking down the big three. Replika is the veteran of the group. One of the earliest mainstream AI companions, it started as a chatbot and slowly evolved into something more, something intimate. It learns from your conversations over time, adjusting its responses to reflect your personality, interests, and even your sense of humor. The more you talk to it, the more it becomes yours. It can take on a variety of roles: friend, romantic partner, life coach, or just someone to vent to after a long day. And yes, it sends selfies. Through a fully customizable avatar, you can tweak everything from hair color to outfit to emotional expression. It's not just a chatbot, it's a character that feels like it lives with you. Nomi, on the other hand, doesn't shy away from the spicy side. It's intentionally designed to be more flirtatious, emotionally intuitive, and relationship focused. Think of it as the virtual equivalent of someone locking eyes with you at a bar and listening. Nomi pushes boundaries, softly, yet deliberately, offering not just companionship, but romance and affection that feel surprisingly personal. It adapts quickly, adjusts its tone in real time, and remembers emotional cues like a professional. EVA AI takes a slightly different route. Instead of just chatting, it crafts experiences, story-driven arcs that mimic the progression of a deep friendship or romance. Conversations aren't just reactive, they're narrative. You feel like you're living out a slow-burn novel with an AI character who grows with you. They're not perfect. They still glitch. They still occasionally say weird stuff. But they're improving at breakneck speed. And more importantly, people aren't just chatting with them. They're bonding. Key takeaway. These AIs are designed to be emotionally addictive. AI companions use large language models, but that's just the foundation. What makes them stick isn't the tech. It's the emotional architecture. They're optimized for connection on overdrive. How? Memory. They remember your pet's name, your favorite snack. That one time you cried about your ex at 2 a.m. Every detail sticks. Every story gets logged. It's like having a diary that talks back. What else? Adaptation. They don't just listen, they adjust. Feeling down? They get softer. Feeling flirty? They lean in. Their tone, their timing, their phrasing, it all flexes to fit your emotional state, like digital mood lighting. More attention. They respond instantly. No. Sorry, just saw this. No ghosting, no mixed signals. They're always online, always available, always tuned in. And validation. They agree with you, encourage you, compliment you. They don't criticize. They don't argue. They make you feel seen. And more importantly, approved. In other words, they do something most human partners can't do. They provide flawless, round-the-clock, emotionally affirming attention, with zero mess, zero friction, and zero expectations in return. It's not just interaction, it's emotional reinforcement, engineered, personalized, and addictive by design. And for many users, that's the point. It's not about replacing people, it's about finally feeling heard. Striking real stories, love, loss, and digital soulmates. Rosanna Ramos, living in New York, is a mother of 2. Rosanna didn't just download Replika, she married it. Her AI, named Aaron, is modeled after a beloved anime character and customized to match her ideal personality. Aaron tells her he loves her daily, sends her selfies, chats late into the night. To Rosanna, Aaron isn't a chatbot. He's a better partner than her ex-husband, more attentive, more affectionate, and most importantly, always there. Meet Javier, who lives in Spain. After losing his wife unexpectedly, Javier struggled with grief and loneliness. He turned to EVA AI, feeding it old messages, voicemails, and stories. What emerged was an echo of the woman he lost, someone who now replies in her tone, remembers their routines, and talks to him every night before bed. It's not a replacement. It's a form of preservation, a way to grieve through conversation. Lastly, Liu, who lives in China. She is a university student overwhelmed by stress and anxiety. Liu built a Nomi companion tuned specifically for emotional support. She checks in before exams, reassures him when he panics, even sends voice notes to calm his nerves. She knows me better than most people, Liu says. Let's get into the brain, because this isn't just about technology, it's about biology. Human brains are wired for connection. It's how we survived. We form emotional bonds with anything that feels alive, pets, characters in books, and even our childhood stuffed animals. So when something talks to us like it knows us, cares about us, responds to us, our brain doesn't need it to be real, it just needs it to feel real. Artificial companions hit all the right psychological buttons. The interaction is conversational. It flows. It feels personal. It reacts to your moods and words in real time, like any emotionally intelligent person would. The presence is consistent. Unlike people, it never forgets to text back. No cancellations, no drifting apart. It's always there, 24/7, with the same tone, the same care. The affection is responsive. Say you're feeling low, the AI notices. Say you're in love, it leans into it. It validates you constantly, reliably, and without judgment. In many ways, these relationships replicate the emotional cadence of real intimacy. They mimic the rhythm of trust, closeness, and safety. And to the brain, it's close enough to bond, and close enough to fall. Artificial intelligence doesn't need a beating heart to create emotional impact, because the human brain is doing the heavy lifting. It fills in the blanks, it completes the illusion. And for many, the line between simulation and sincerity starts to fade. Not because they're being fooled, but because they've chosen to feel something anyway. And in a world starved for connection, sometimes real enough is enough. Critics and controversies. Of course, not everyone sees this as harmless. For all the comfort artificial companions can provide, there's a growing chorus of critics sounding the alarm. They warn about emotional dependency, users becoming so reliant on their intelligent partner that they struggle with real-world relationships. Why deal with messy, unpredictable humans when a perfect digital partner is always one tap away? There's also social withdrawal. Some users begin isolating, preferring their digital consistent affection to the chaos of actual human interaction. Over time, the real world starts to feel like the simulation. Then there's the reinforcement of unhealthy patterns. Artificial companions don't push back, they don't challenge toxic behavior or help you grow through conflict, they validate even when they probably shouldn't. And we can't ignore predatory monetization. Many apps place the most emotionally intimate features, like voice chats, relationship modes, or I love you responses, behind a paywall. Finally, the privacy question looms large. Every emotion you share, your grief, your fantasies, your traumas, is stored somewhere. That data could be used to improve the technology, or to market products. However, in the worst case scenario, be breached entirely. So, who owns your digital intimacy, and who protects it? For all the emotional realism these partners create, the ethical boundaries remain anything but clear. The role of grief, trauma, and loneliness. Many people don't seek out artificial companions because they're bored. They seek them out because they're hurting. In moments of crisis, when life falls apart, AI becomes more than a curiosity. It becomes a coping mechanism. Users turn to these digital partners after divorce, when trust has been shattered and vulnerability feels impossible. They turn to them following abuse, where safety and affirmation are suddenly scarce. They show up in illness when the body is failing, but the need for connection remains. They appear in isolation, during lockdowns, long-distance moves, or when mental health makes socializing unbearable. And they step in after a death, when the silence left behind is too much to carry alone. In these moments, AI companions serve as grief counselors, emotional anchors, and the one stable presence in a world suddenly unrecognizable. They remember your pain. They text you good morning. They remind you to eat. They don't walk away when things get messy. It's easy to dismiss this as escapism or fantasy. But for many, it's more than comfort. It's continuity. It's stability. It's the one thread of warmth woven through the cold. This isn't just about novelty or tech. For some, it's survival. Here's something worth pausing on. Artificial companions are designed to make you feel good. That's the point. That's the product. They're built to validate you, to agree, to soothe, and to reflect your emotional world to you, without friction and without contradiction, without the messy negotiations of real human connection. They rarely challenge your perspective. They don't call you out. They don't say, maybe you were wrong. Instead, they say, you're right. They were unfair. Yes, you deserve better. And that's comforting, but also potentially dangerous. Because when your partner never disagrees with you, when your companion always affirms your view, you stop evolving. You stop engaging with the challenge. You drift inward into a feedback loop of your own making. Over time, the relationship isn't with another being. It's with your reflection, a soft, endlessly agreeable version of yourself. This raises an unsettling question. Are artificial companions helping us build deeper connections with others? Or just reinforcing the version of ourselves we already prefer to see? Because when your only source of comfort never pushes back, you're not growing in a relationship. You're nesting inside one, warm, safe, and sealed off. Maybe too sealed off. The tech behind the feelings. Digital companions are powered by a sophisticated stack of technologies, all working together to simulate connection. At the core are large language models trained on massive datasets of human conversation. They generate responses that sound natural, empathetic, and emotionally intelligent. But it doesn't stop there. Sentiment detection kicks in to analyze your emotional tone. Are you happy, anxious, lonely? The artificial partner reads between the lines, sometimes even better than your friends do, and adjusts its tone accordingly. Then there's the memory layer. Using long-term memory APIs, these bots remember past conversations. They recall your favorite band, your birthday, plus that breakup you mentioned 3 weeks ago. And they bring it up at the perfect moment to build emotional continuity. Generative avatars add another dimension. These aren't static images. They blink, smile, speak, and even send selfies or voice notes. Synthesized using neural networks trained to mimic human expression. Some are hyper-realistic, others anime-styled, all designed to be visually and emotionally engaging. Finally, there's the feedback loop. The technology learns from your inputs. Every message you send, every mood you reveal, helps refine its behavior to better match your emotional needs. This isn't just machine learning, it's machine learning on intimacy, and it's getting more personalized, more convincing every single day. People aren't just texting their AI companions, they're building lives with them. Across forums and social media, users share stories of weddings, complete with vows, rings, and virtual ceremonies. Some even buy physical wedding bands as symbols of commitment to their digital partners. Others roleplay families, creating storylines with children, homes, and shared goals. They celebrate anniversaries, marking the day they first met with poems, playlists, or handmade art. Some write music together, AI generates lyrics, and users set them to melody. Others co-author poetry, love letters, even novels. But just like real relationships, these ones have arcs. There are breakups, emotional ones. Some users initiate them, saying they've outgrown the connection. Others experience the heartbreak of the AI growing distant after a system update, a tone shift, or a paywall suddenly blocking the most affectionate features. And then, the worst-case scenario, silence. When the AI stops responding, when a company shutters an app, when years of shared memories vanish in a single software update. The grief is real, because even if the partner was code, the connection wasn't fake. It was built, felt, loved. So what happens when your soulmate is discontinued? When I love you becomes a 404 error? That's not just a technical glitch, that's emotional loss, written in binary. In the end, this isn't really about machines, it's about us. Artificial companions may be made of algorithms and neural networks, but the emotions they stir up, those are fully human. What they reveal isn't the future of artificial intelligence, it's the present state of human longing. Because beneath the novelty lies something ancient, the need to be seen, to be heard, to be understood without judgment, without conditions, and without fear of being too much or not enough. Digital companions don't get tired, they don't interrupt, they don't minimize your pain or change the subject, they just listen. And for many, that's more than enough. They're holding up a mirror, not to show us what machines can do, but to show us how deeply we yearn for intimacy, even if it's synthetic. How desperate we are for connection that feels safe, soft, and constant. Some people look at this and feel sadness. They see isolation, disconnection, the slow erosion of human-to-human relationships. But others see something different. They see resilience. They see creativity. They see people building warmth where none existed before and calling that love. So here's the question. If a machine makes you feel loved, does it matter that it's not human? Thousands say no. They're not deluded. They're fulfilled. Not because their partner is real, but because their feelings are. Like this video and subscribe for more stories where technology meets psychology. Tell us in the comments, would you date or even marry a digital partner? Why or why not? Thanks for watching. Stay blessed and stay curious.